Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Doady Gaming Turnfight Guide. And today we're going to be telling you how to turnfight and how to be the best turnfighter in the skies of War Thunder. So let's get started with some arcade battles as the British, and we're going to start off with a Spitfire Mark 9. So in arcade, you're going to want to climb pretty much no matter what you are, turnfighter, energy fighter, doesn't matter what you are, because being low isn't an advantage. So you want to put yourself in the most advantageous scenario possible when you go into a fight. So for arcade in general, turn fighters I don't think get as many kills as energy fighters, purely because they don't have nearly as much firepower generally, and that's pretty much it. Everything else, the flame models are so smoothed out that the speed difference isn't major, and you can turn much faster. So here we're going to dive down on this B63 King Cobra, and as you see, we can't quite catch him, but it's fine. We have tons of options. Come at this guy, boom boom boom, he's down, right? So now see, we can turn with this guy, we can get close, and hopefully we can get some good shots on him. Bam, and he's down. Mustang. So here we're going to want to, when you're turn fighting in arcade, you're going to want to get as close as possible. You're not going to climb away, but when you're at nearly quite as much as you would with a energy fighter, but when you're a turn fighter, you're going to want to be really close to people. You're going to want to pretty much always be turning. You're going to want to be as twitchy as possible, and you're not going to want to stop moving at all. And when you are in situations where you can dive, of course you're going to want to dive, but generally try not to climb away. Try to go towards the action and stay in there. So right now, I mean, as you can see, we're diving on him, got some good hits in, turn with him, and we're just getting tons of kills here. I think the British are definitely, I think they have an edge over the Japanese in a lot of situations in arcade, simply because they're generally, I think they're tougher and their firepower generally better. I think the British cannons are more effective than the Japanese cannons. So unfortunately we got taken out there, but with arcade you're it's kind of a time bomb. You're going to die no matter what, essentially. So I think that's more than enough arcade. So now let's head over to some realistic battles, and we'll see how we do there. And here we are in some realistic battles gameplay with the Spitfire Mark 9. And as you can see, we just want to climb because we don't, as we said before, we don't want to put yourself at a disadvantage before the game even starts. So we're just going for the juiciest target we can find. Not a lot of action up here in Sicily. We have the appropriate camouflage, which is always good. But hold it. There's a fellow over there. Now, if there's an actual fellow that we gotta get, we can't go after JO88s. You gotta pick your targets. I mean, Baba Black Sheep has to die. So, and there's an FW190. So now you gotta weigh your options, because when you're a turn fighter, you're gonna be in this situation very often. You have to make sure, can he dive on you, or is he gonna dive on you? You have to make your choices here. It looks like he's too far to dive, so the FW is the only one who's gonna be a threat at the moment. So when you're in this situation, you don't want to climb with him. You want to keep your speed up. You don't want to lose any speed you have, because that's just not good. And this is from the energy fighting too. I mean, you'd never want to lose energy. So you just want to throw off his approach, come back around. I mean, you're not necessarily going to get him on this after you dodge it, but you're just going to want to dodge, because you know he's going to come from a certain angle, and when he's coming from that angle, you just have to twitch at the last moment so you can throw off his aim. You don't want to necessarily go on the offensive. I mean, that guy should have climbed away. That was not very smart for him to try to turn with the Spitfire, but he should have just climbed away, and he could have kept doing that all day. But we want to just try to avoid at the last second. And here, head-ons are not good. Again, you want to twitch at the last second. You don't want to telegraph your evasion 10 minutes before he actually gets there, because he's just going to shoot you while you're evading. So, yeah, I mean, here we just have to, when you're in a turn fighter and realistic, you're always on the defensive. Your survivability is not nearly that of an energy fighter. With an energy fighter, you can actually run. The flame model's not smoothed out, but with a turn fighter, you can't run. Here, and another big issue, I don't know if this is for all turn fighters, but your wings break off at a very low speed, and 400 and some miles an hour. That's seems a little excessive for you to break your wings off, but whatever. So here we're found ourselves in an offensive position, so you want to just bleed off speed slowly. You don't want to just yank the stick up and your wings break off, because that's a major issue. I've broken my wings off several times, many times, so you don't want to do this. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get these energy fighters in a place that they don't want to be, which is a turn fight. You want to get up close and personal. Bam, bam, bam. A lot of missing. It's my trademark. And at this point, he can't turn with the Spitfire. It's just not going to happen. These energy fighters need to run away. But if you can get them into a situation like this, they're done. They're done, as you can see there. Doesn't have a chance. So, once again, you're just going to want to weigh your options. You have to weigh your options. If you go after the Ju-88 and the whole entire planet's above you, you're going to die. Because you just can't. You can have 5 people diving on you. There's too many people. You have to dodge at the last second, and it's just not good. Not a good situation. So here, this guy's low altitude, low speed. We can get him. So just come around, dive on him, get some shots, boom, 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 and he's down for the count. So now you just got to see what's going on, and man, there's an FW right there. And he got some good shots on at us. Now with some tunnel vision in here, just trying to keep the plane alive, but oof, that was close, that was difficult. Our wing is practically falling off. Practically don't have a wing. And you see those bullet holes? They're huge. So here it's just want to avoid it, and yeah, it's the end. And that was just directly the consequences of tunnel visioning. You're not going to want to. You always have to be on the defensive when you're a turn fighter. So yeah, that was the realistic battle gameplay. Now let's take a look at what you should do in simulator. And here we are on the simulator battle portion of this video, and we are taking out the King Cobra, which I believe is not only the best turn fighter, but the best plane in the game. I don't know if the King Cobra is just unbalanced or what, because it just seems so dominant that my kill ratio with this plane is much higher than it is with anything else in simulator. But here we can just get right in behind him, get some shots, and even though we're twitchy, we can stay behind him, we can still get some good shots. That was pretty close, but we can just come around and come right back on his tail. We can just gotta worry about keeping our speed up. We don't want to drop too slow, and gotta keep an eye on him, don't want to lose him. So here we are, just right behind him. And I think with the turn fighters is that you don't have to have a phenomenal aim. I miss so many times. I miss thousands of times. I only hit with about 3 shots in this entire video, but I get 3 kills with it. So that was a King Cobra specific, but still with any plane the same rules apply. You can get really close with turn fighters that you can't with energy fighters, because you have to just shoot and you're gone. But with turn fighters, you can get really close and personal and just take them down. But you always have to be mindful of who's on your tail. And I don't know how that BF-109 went down, but it's more technical difficulties, and we're back. So I don't know how that BF-109 went down, but now we have to worry about this FW. He is definitely a threat. But at these low altitudes, we can definitely stay away from him, keep twitching. And you see the plane snap rolling. That's definite. That it can kill you, but it can also be, if you're very good, you can use it to your advantage. You can roll much quicker in a snap roll than you can just flat out rolling. I cannot use it to my advantage, but that doesn't stop us from staying with this FW. Here we just have to worry about keeping our eyes on him, because he's not, if we can just keep our eyes on him, he's not going anywhere. Just stay low, try to keep up our speed. At this point, it would probably be a good idea to turn around, see what's behind me, but yeah, there I go. See, I outdid myself. I didn't expect myself to do that. So now we just gotta look for the next target. Gotta see who's next. The Germans, I don't think, have anything, a plane that can seriously contend with the King Cobra plane. Or really turn fighters. I mean, some are better than others. I mean, the Japanese, I think, are pretty unstoppable when, you know, in the hands of a good pilot, but especially against the Russians. I don't think the Russians can do anything against the Japanese, but here we can just get right in behind them. With this plane, you just have to get really close. With turn fighters, you want to get really close, and you want to just turn and turn and turn, which is why it's called a turn fighter. But we can stay through any one of his maneuvers. You have to remember, if they're going through a maneuver that looks tough, you can go through it too, and you can outturn all of these planes. So you just have to keep that in mind. Have to keep an eye on him here. Stay low, try to keep up your speed. Take some pot shots. Hit him with some of them, mainly the machine guns, but I think only the machine guns. This cannon can be a blessing, but it can also be a real pain. Now this guy, this other King Cobra was trying to cut me off, trying to steal this kill, but having none of it. Just wobbling around. My aim is terrible, as you can see, but that still, with turn fighters, that's not a major issue. You just come around. You want to keep your eyes on them at all times. All times. You never want to lose your target. So just come around and here, just stay behind them. And as you can see, the BF-109 can't really run. He's been dragged into a position that's so sluggish and just not beneficial towards him that he can't do anything. You just want to, when you're a turn fighter, you're just so juicy. You're down there, you're low, you don't look like you know what you're doing because you're just low, and then they dive on you again, and then all of a sudden they're out of energy. They're done. So once they're out of energy, you've essentially won, because they can't, I mean, unless they try to climb away, which won't work in a lot of situations because of their low speed performance, but for the sake of the, you know, for the Germans and the American turn fighters, it's definitely beneficial towards the turn fighter. Because Germany doesn't have any turn fighters, let's face it. So here, just spotting another guy, and at this point we gotta go on the Santa's little helper's tail. We gotta get this guy, and see, he's climbing, but I think we have enough speed. You have to be a good judge. I think we have enough speed to do a little bit of damage, but you have to be a judge with this. I mean, nothing's set in stone. You can't say, well, I'm a turn fighter, I can't climb at all. I'm an energy fighter, I can't turn under any circumstances. That's not the case. It depends on the plane, and it depends on the situation. But here, he comes back down. I think he stalls, loses all of his energy. Now we just gotta work on getting right on him. Take some shots from here, but yeah, probably not gonna get him. From this range, nothing's gonna happen. Just taking some shots. Maybe we'll scare him, and okay, that happened. That was pretty great. See, that's the thing with these giant marshmallows. They go boom. That was more of a King Cobra specific feature, but yeah, you're just gonna want to get close and bang, take him down. So here, this guy's slippery, like a pickle. Don't want to hold on to a pickle. Then man, he almost tries to kill me there, but we gotta keep an eye on him. Don't want to lose the pickle. This fella's not getting away. So we're just gonna come back down, look for him, and here looks like we lost him, which is not good. And oh, there he is. He's back, but he's so banged up. I mean, he was on fire. He put out the fire. I mean, he was like throwing water, throwing out of the plane. You know, he had a bucket under his seat or something. I don't know, but he put it out. So now we just got to work on taking him down. At this point, he has nothing, so that's pretty much it. It for him. It might take me 6-7 hours, but eventually sink my teeth into this gherkin. It's pretty embarrassing how long it takes me to shoot this guy down. I don't even know if one of his wings works. But, I mean, it took double speed to condense this into a reasonable length. I mean, we're at 29 minutes. And we're still chasing this moron. But eventually we take him down, I think. So here, I mean, you see how many times I miss it. You don't need to be a good shot to be a turn fighter. You don't. And at this point, I think he just lost the will to go on. He was tired of having me chase him for 17 hours. And he's just like, I'll do it myself. Bye-bye. So that was pretty much it. Mission accomplished. We shot down 3 Jerrys. And that was pretty good. That was showing what turn fighters can do. Especially what the King Cobra can do. And we learned that we need to stay close. We got to get right into them. And we got to avoid their dives at the very last moment. Chink at the very last moment. You want to twitch it right as they're about to shoot you. So thank you for watching. If you're one of the 5 people who did watch, we would appreciate it. Maybe you can like and subscribe. That would be amazing. Let's go for 2 subscribers. And thank you very much, and goodbye. We'll see you next time.